Happy Thursday.
And look, Susie's stopping by.
Hello, Susie. How are you?
How's everybody?
Very good.
Are you ready to bowl?
Yeah, I'm ready to bowl.
We're ready to let you bowl. Yeah.
Oh my God. So what's going on with my league?
Oh,
He hasn't heard from me.
we got a lot going on.
And left them a message. We
Hi,
didn't get
hi everybody.
that out.
We are we're back. It's Thursday. Live from Rabs. We are outside Rabs Country Lanes. It's a beautiful day out here. We have our co-host Pam Silvestri here with us.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome back, Pam.
And about the Rabs Country Lanes, and they just built this beautiful little outdoor section.
Very good.
Isn't it cool? For those of you that don't know, I think you guys all know, we are back open. Yes, episode 124, episode 123, we spent celebrating and being excited.
Yes, we did.
About being open. We had a bunch of drop-in guests. We had our first drop-in guest for today. It could be anything today since we're sitting outside.
We're out on the street,
Yes,
so.
I can only imagine. Staten Island, right?
Oh, well, hello everybody. Pam, it's been,
It's been a hot minute since Pam was here.
For 2 weeks.
I needed a vacation.
How is your vacation?
Vacation was wonderful. It was actually a staycation, and I just got a lot done. I went to a lot of photos, and we ate out a few times, which was nice. We just actually came from a press conference this morning, which I'm going to be writing about this afternoon. I always get great inspiration from being on your show. Curious to know what you think about this too. There was a press conference at Cobra, which was pretty brave because
I saw the announcement.
Yeah, they were gonna Nicole Maliotakis and Matteo, and actually Joe Borelli was there, and their aim was to get restaurants, dining rooms back open again. So that was a huge issue, and there's uncertainty as to why that is. It's a contest between the governor and the mayor. The governor punishing the mayor, or because they don't like each other. Or what the deal is, and so it was. I don't know. People had signs, and they were holding up, open dining rooms and things like that. So
yeah, because it really is just at this point, just New York City that's not allowing indoor dining.
Well, in the last 2 days, it's funny that governor and the mayor are on the same page. Mayor said no outdoor dining until no indoor dining until there's a vaccine. He said it was possible. It wasn't affirmative. And the governor backed him up on it, which I thought was very odd because they were, to your point, have been at odds throughout this whole time.
It's very strange. So it is what it is, and restaurant owners were very upset. And
can't blame them.
A lot of restaurant owners were there. There was a Brioso from Newdorp. Lisa is the wife of Peter, who's the owner there. They were there representing Brioso at Newdorp. There was also, Tommy Castelli and Rob Castelli from Cobra and Kettle Black. They also have restaurants in Bay Ridge, so that was interesting. And also, Max Rose wrote a letter to Cuomo, and that's something else that'll be covered in the advance this afternoon, basically lobbying to open the restaurants in New York City. And Staten Island is, a different animal, as the politicians point out. We're more bucolic, and there's
absolutely
open space. And so who's there today? I want to say hello to
our good friend Ann. Say hello, Pam. Ann. Barbara's excited. Our outdoor seating looks great. She can't wait to start bowling again. Ken is back. Ken took a vacation from us.
Yes,
he was watching later, but we had Ken on the show the other day. And Carol. Who else wrote in here? Mike, Patty, Nancy.
So what's the deal with the food? You can't serve inside, but you can serve outside.
So we fall in the same. Yeah. So we fall under the same guidelines. No indoor dining, which. For those that saw the initial announcement from Cuomo, it was very confusing, but he just blurted out that bowling alleys throughout the state can open, talked about wait service being to the lanes and not to the tables, not the concessions, but never, for the first time, I have to give credit when credit's due. Typically, when he makes an announcement and he'll always specifically say, except for Western New York, except for New York City, like he always specifies, and in this announcement he didn't. I think he was just excited to make the announcement, and there was a big riff when people heard that and then saw that in print. But wait a second, here in New York City, I can't. You could go have pizza in a bowling alley, but I can't serve.
I can't serve it in my restaurant.
At a restaurant,
right?
Which I believe to have not been true. We sat there, we looked at each other like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Unless they wanted us to be the guinea pigs, but we, again, didn't believe that to be true.
It didn't seem like that.
So which is true. We fall under the same guidelines, no indoor dining. So we've, this was in the works, but got turned on very fast.
Very super quick.
72 hours. We have right now 7 tables out here.
Wow.
Planters, which these flip over. They could be flat. We'll put plants in there.
Nice. Beautiful.
Really nice. We just picked out some stain, so it's being looked at as we took back some samples, and we don't know what it looks like. So umbrellas. I think our first umbrella comes tomorrow.
Wow.
So holes still have to be
Umbrellas
drilled.
are at a premium.
They are. They really are.
For restaurant owners or anybody that has a backyard that may have wanted an umbrella, umbrellas are at a premium right now. So.
Hi.
Hey, Grandpa Jim.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe. Marco.
Hi, Marco.
Marco, come over here. Come behind Pam there.
Stay right.
Are you Marco Recchia, are you excited?
I am very excited. I'm so glad to be here today.
Let alone be standing.
Standing.
But to be able to get back and serving pizza for our customers,
Yeah.
I have.
It's thrilling. It's thrilling. It's a long time waiting. Anxious, and the time is here, and we're ready to go. We're ready to make some pizzas. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to bowl. We're ready to do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
What's your favorite pie?
My favorite pie? Well, I can't eat pizza anymore. I have to do
Water?
Marco's been put on the no pizza plan.
Actually, my favorite pie is the buffalo pie. Buffalo chicken. It's a buffalo chicken pie.
Which people will argue is not a pizza.
Because of the sauce. But we're very different. We're very unique with buffalo chicken pie. Yeah, not creative, but very simple.
Okay.
And it's a nice pie. It's one of our top selling pies here.
For good reason. It's delicious. It's,
Got a little bit of kick to it.
Delicious.
And you deliver?
Yeah, we deliver. We pick up and deliver. So,
So during this whole time, Marco and his team have been doing takeout and delivery on and off, and most of the time during the week. And it very well receptive. A lot of our regular customers had the opportunity to get dining.
well,
So
they had that built-in people that were used to having taking their pies.
those are not for him. So not only did Pam, not only did we pull out the pizza, but we also have Zeppelis, which, you know, for years have always been one of the
This is lovely.
Gennaro's specialties.
This is wonderful.
And I'm sitting here pulling up a picture, and I can't see because it's dark. It's bright in my eyes,
Oh
and
my
I
gosh,
think
that
I
smells
did
so
it.
delicious. My diet has just gone off the
Right out the window.
what was start your diet?
You're on the no pizza
There's
diet.
always tomorrow.
He's on the no pizza plan. It's kind of
Not even cauliflower crust?
I can do cauliflower crust. I can do
Okay.
gluten free. I could do.
Okay. You have a nice gluten-free pie.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what I have, and I like it.
Would you like a slice?
we have a lot of people. You know, you talk about that gluten-free pie. I think it's one of those things that people take for granted that it's available.
Look at that. Nice.
I have friends that come here specifically for that.
It is good.
They tell me it's one of the best around. I'm like, oh, well, that's good to know. Absolutely. I was trying to pull up this
Thank
picture.
you,
So Pam,
Yes.
well, outdoor dining is not 100% turned on here at Rabs. We are just getting rocking and rolling here. We had our first diners this week.
Oh, nice.
After bowling, our senior men couldn't wait. Here is Grandpa Jim, Vinny, Randy,
Aw.
Willie, and of course getting served by Tina. They had pizza, they had drinks outside. So we're slowly but surely getting back into the swing of things. One of the challenges is getting turned on in 72 hours. Marco getting food delivered, right? We had some product, we didn't have everything. Pepsi getting the machines, getting the product, and the machines get back up and running.
Stuff you don't even think about. You're like, oh, so the pins are there. You know, turn the lanes on. But it's been a long 4 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday were pretty intense.
Really?
They were. I mean, it was like wait, hurry up. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you get lulled into that. You know, we always assumed that when they told us we could open, we would have like a week.
Right.
You know, more than.
And in a week, we could get all our food service ready, alcohol and beer.
We assumed we would have time, and it was like, and then it was on a Friday, so it wasn't even like we really had 72 hours because it was a weekend.
Right.
And it's so hard to get things done on a weekend. I mean, the cleaning. Thank God for our staff; they were amazing getting the place in the shape it was on Monday. So
Marco was on vacation.
yes.
And he was away with Tina.
Where'd you go?
We went to Cape May.
Oh, nice.
Cape May for the weekend.
Good for you.
Shortened weekend. It was supposed to be like a nice long
Yeah,
weekend.
it was gonna be a long weekend, and then when we got the notification, we're like, no, wait, am I reading this wrong? Hold on a second. Time out. Take the sunscreen off. Time to go back to work. And we came back Sunday morning, actually. We departed Sunday early morning and came here to get everything ready for Monday morning.
Wow.
And so Pam, we did a soft opener on Monday. It was nice. We closed at 5 o'clock. We still had people looking to bowl, and we've been open. We opened fully on Tuesday,
Oh, wow.
and the last 2 days have been great. Very well received.
Yeah.
For those that have been coming in, Ken is asking the bar. Of course, we will have outdoor dining with alcohol and food service, and of course, as you know, here in New York City, no food, no alcohol. So same guidelines follow. We are just getting everything set, ready to go. We had to place beer delivery, and so beer delivery over the weekend.
Yep.
I have to say, Monday morning we had most of our deliveries came.
Oh, that's great.
Our salesmen were great, got us up and running. We still have product that wasn't picked up, and they had union problems.
Yeah.
They had trucks that they're picking up all of these products. They didn't have enough trucks, especially Anheuser-Busch, because now they moved. They were on Staten Island for a long time. They left Staten Island. They're out in Queens, I believe.
Oh my God.
So to truck all around New York City has been difficult, but I have to say they've been great.
They've been good. Of all the distributors, they're really among the best.
And the beer distributors have been fantastic. So, and it's been nice getting phone calls. Our rep from Flagship came by yesterday.
Oh, great.
So we're getting there slowly but surely. Reggie makes a good point. A proprietor friend out from the state of Washington, who sadly is still closed. But we're cheering you on, and they're doing some great advocating. Talks about getting product is also, depending on where you live, is difficult.
Yeah.
Marco, we shared this article yesterday. Pam, did you see that there's a cured meat pepperoni sausage shortage?
I did not see that.
Could you imagine having pizza here in New York with no pepperoni?
That's got to be the most popular, aside from the buffalo.
Pepperoni,
Pie.
yeah, one of the
That's interesting.
biggest sellers.
No kidding.
Yeah, Marco was telling us the distributor had warned you about that.
They had warned me about it about a week ago.
What a great story.
And they kind of, they work with you, so they try to find the same type of product as a substitute. Because there's so many companies out there. There's Pamela out there, Vesuvio, Roselli. There's so many companies out there, but you're trying to get the best quality. When you're with one quality, you want to try to stay with it. And you don't want to really downgrade on the quality.
Who do you use?
I use on my wave.
Yeah, like who's the distributor?
My distributors, I use U.S. Foods and Cisco.
Okay.
I use both.
And what meat do you use?
Hormel.
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 Oh, interesting. They've had a problem during the pandemic generally.
They had,
because of
they had to
distribution.
close down their facility to do, to go through the guidelines of quarantine and disinfecting. So they closed down some. So it's like the poultry also, they closed down a little bit. The meats, that's why meats went up for a little bit. They had to close down because of, the pandemic and the way the new normal is that they have to follow guidelines in there, social distance.
Oh, wow.
Partitions in there, and it's
Incredible.
a different way of working. Instead of having say thousands of people, maybe they had to cut it down to 900 because of the social distancing.
Right.
In the warehouse.
Right. And that's like I said it. I tried to get it come over. Oh, now she comes. It interrupts the whole supply chain. So everything gets kind of tossed up in the air.
Hello, everyone.
Tina, I have to ask you,
Yes.
how excited were you to serve our first customers the other day? I just showed them a picture of you and
Very
Jim and
excited.
Randy.
I missed everyone. I did, especially my Tuesday morning guys. It was nice to be able to come out and serve food, and they had drinks too. It was nice.
The best part about that whole situation, because we didn't have juices, Randy just happened to have cranberry juice in his car. So who, now if you ever need a tailgating partner, you certainly could call Jim and Randy. So he goes, well, I want a discount since I had to bring my own juice. So yeah, get over it.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to see that.
I mean, a lot of them were a little, upset that they didn't have their cup of coffee while they were,
Right.
calling,
Right.
but they understood. They said that, for now, this is what
the
we
way
have
it
to
is
do.
for now.
This is our normal. I hate to say it, but it is our new normal, and they just made do. They waited after they were done bowling, which a lot of guests did yesterday. Ordered their pizza and came out. In between we didn't have that rain.
Right.
They came outside and they had their pies and their pitcher, and they were happy with it.
Yeah, last night was a busy night. Last night turned into a busy night than expected, and we've been asking people to make reservations to help with that, and which certainly gives us an idea of what to expect. But last night, I got text messages and saying, "Hey, we're busy, and we might actually need some more. We might actually need some more staff."
We may have to change our Tuesday morning to breakfast. Maybe for Jim Episcopi, maybe we should do mimosas.
There you go.
So Tuesday mimosas.
Do mimosas for the Tuesday morning.
Well, I think they're excited just to be back to bowling and to see them. They were here again today, same group of guys.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see them come out here. The first official diner certainly was Mike Consiglione, who ordered a slice, brought it out. But the diners who got table service were the group that we shared, and Tina took care of them. And the girls seem excited too to be back in work.
Yeah, I mean, we missed everyone.
Yeah.
You know how it was. We were here. We were open. We were doing pickup and delivery. The bowling alley was dark.
Right. And depressing.
I mean, except for when you guys were on, you kind of you heard other people talking in the building. But other than that, it was just it was kind of dreary. And sad. So we're just happy to have the lights back on.
Oh, nice.
To hear the balls and hitting the pins and just have everything.
Smell of more food. Like we would always laugh at you guys watching us. Naz and I would, they're cooking something. We didn't know it. Now that smell is permeating and it's back. And we're still seeing people come in for takeout and delivery, which is great because that whole experience of, bowling is very social, and we want people to still be social while we're not physically distancing today, and we're doing what we can. But we've all been together. At the same time, it's difficult inside without food because it's part of the experience.
Part of the experience.
So the experience is going to be different for a little while. Before you come and bowl, after you bowl, come and sit outside, and once it's turned on, there'll be table service for everybody, and we'll be ready to rock and roll.
That's right.
Yeah, we're excited.
But Pam, look, welcome to the studio.
Delicious.
Thank you.
What do you think? What's going on?
I'm so impressed. I gotta say, you pulled it all together so quickly. And I was going around the borough looking at the different setups, and some people are very creative. And the street dining is a little disconcerting if it's on a busy place like Forest Avenue.
Yeah.
But
Highland Boulevard.
Highland Boulevard. I didn't see anybody on Highland Boulevard.
Just a couple of them towards.
Josh South.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, literally right on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
The good thing about further south on Highland Boulevard, it isn't as busy in traffic as it is down here, but there are a couple pockets.
They do drive
where it is-
faster.
Yeah, because it's wide open. The lanes. There's nobody parking in front of the park, and so the school. So, depending on how far you go towards Richmond Avenue, but there are some spots that are challenging that you wouldn't think that.
I mean, the ones that have the lots have like the lots on the side, and they have their tables set up. I think that's Andrew's.
Andrew's Diner.
No, not Andrew's Diner. Mike's Diner.
Mike's
yeah.
Mike. Yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
he has it like kind of sectioned off with cars or vans.
I thought that looked good.
On Highland?
Yeah,
No, it's on.
On Clark?
On Amboy and
In the shopping plaza. Oh, yeah. Mike Jr.'s.
People
Yeah.
have lots like that, or
Yeah.
they're doing.
And the funny thing about Mike Jr.'s, and when we first moved to Richmond Town, my dad would stop there in the morning and sit down before Mike took it over. And when they redid the place, it's absolutely beautiful inside. I don't know how many seats he has inside, but I think he has more seats outside now.
Right.
And it's fun to watch because every week coming home, because I come to work on Clark Avenue. Every day I just see more and more people and space getting taken up. He just keeps coming out, inching closer to the hardware store. But what's cool about that shopping center is always busy, especially with the net cost and Wayne Reed. And it's an absolute disaster sometimes. And they've made it work. And Novelli's, yeah.
And speaking of Novelli's, what's interesting is they were so overwhelmed at one point with people who didn't want to go in the supermarkets. Like they were just completely over, and the only thing they were really doing was deliveries.
Deliveries.
But anyway, I was so impressed. Like, and I think it can only happen on Staten Island. Like a lot of places did not go out of business.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you guys were suffering. Yeah, I know.
And there were places that actually opened during that time.
Oh yeah.
And are kind of doing okay. They're doing okay.
Some doing a little bit better than they were before. I think we're still not out of the woods. I believe that we're still going to see. Sadly, some businesses won't make it through.
Oh yeah.
Because we can't continue to operate at 50%. It's going to be very difficult for us. It'll be very difficult for some of these restaurants, especially with the winter months coming. You know, I had dined at La Strada a couple weeks ago, and walking to the back, you know, they've been setting up the inside accordingly. But the one room by the bar, he really could only have 3 tables in it. Yeah. It was such a small space. Now they have 3 storefronts, but how many tables could you have? And they just don't operate in that fashion. There used to be.
The street or no?
So, New York Lane, I was going to ask Pam about that. I know you were been off for 2 weeks, but I did notice the street, only 10th Street was closed off this past weekend. So Brioso's using 10th Street, which they need it, and it looks like they may even have more tables than they have outside than they have inside.
Yes, I agree.
But the rest of the street's not closed off. I don't know if they backed off on that the restaurants not need it.
Apparently, my friend has a store on New York Lane. I guess some of the store owners complained that they couldn't get deliveries.
But I thought they were only doing
It's only at nighttime.
I thought it was only at nighttime as well, but
Yeah, it was like 7 p.m. to 11 or whatever.
they changed it a few times over the course of the pandemic, and I will check on what it is for this weekend.
Which goes back to Pam's original concern, being in urban planning, you shut streets down and you create other problems, which is true.
Yeah.
I was there twice when the street was closed, and it was actually a better experience because while even at the restaurant I ate in the back, when you came out of the restaurant, it was just nice to be able to walk across the street with no problem. The movement. If we sat on New York Lane in the sidewalk, you didn't have anybody. It just wasn't as busy as it would be on a Friday, Saturday night, which it can be busy. So it is a nice option to have by having the street closed.
Right.
But I could see, but they all didn't take advantage of it. The cantinas using the sidewalk, not going into the street. I think they look busier than ever before. And I love their food. We order from there all the time.
Which is the store that has a setup in the street the whole time?
Brioso.
No.
John's Deli.
John's Deli. He's got a little setup in the street, yeah. And the problem, I think, for him, his storefront comes out further than some of the others. So some of the other buildings are set back.
Right.
So like where Coastal Plumbing and the Strata is,
He loses the sidewalk.
he loses the sidewalk. Right. John's loses the sidewalk. Same thing with Piece of Cake. Piece of Cake has like little bakery cocktail tables out front.
Which are always full.
Which are always full, yeah. I do want to know if anybody's dined outside in the street or in the sidewalk, where have you gone and what do you think of the setups? I will say the city has made this process very easy.
They absolutely have.
As much as people were complaining, having gone through it, the self-certification form, you go on, you measure out your space, you provide all the information, you get approved. I have gotten 4 phone calls since the day I applied. Do you have any questions? Do you need any help from DOT?
Plus the guy came,
and then they came for an inspection, which we weren't ready. The leg up, but the guy's very nice, and he's a bowler. So, of course, he was excited to see what was going on. He went in the pro shop to go get a bowling ball for his daughter and shoes. At the same time, he was able to, because he came early, we were able to ask him some questions. The guidelines are very specific. 8 feet from the curb. You can only use the length of your building. You have to leave access for handicap. Very, very specific. There's no detail left untouched, at least at this point. Maybe in the beginning there were. He answered our questions. While that 8-foot rule, 8 feet is the rule, it's really 5 feet. So they're giving you, they're trying to basically give you more room to say, hey, they're giving you 3-foot leniency there. But it's 5 foot because of the wheelchair accessibility and a walkway. They want 8 feet, but the leniency is up to 5 feet, which was great to know. We thought we'd have to build another ramp here, but because we have
this one.
Because we have it is beautiful, but because we have the city curb cut here, we can use that. So he was great, explained it all, and they'll come back for an inspection. There are only 2 guys doing DOT inspections for this on Staten.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
It seems like there's so many officials from all different agencies, but are they coming from there's another agency that sort of surprised everybody. The Department of
She made that.
Hi, how are you? Good, nice to see you. Yeah. Well, there's DOT, but also there's the Office of OSD. It's called Office of Special Enforcement, and they have been going around and I guess kind of camping up. I guess where DOT and other places are short staffed.
Well, they're getting, so it's 2 inspectors. They're checking out to see whether you comply, and then of course the sheriff could show up based on a complaint. He had explained to us that one of the restaurants he had just visited was taking up the whole sidewalk. They had to make some changes.
Oh wow!
So and you're seeing that as we go along too,
Right, because people can want to walk in the streets and get outside.
Well, in this specific case, they were using all of the sidewalk and they were turning on the street. So you had to walk around the whole thing, and in that area, it's very busy. One could argue that street dining may not. It's another one of those very busy spots where is street dining something that should be considered in that spot. And when building all of this, one of the things these have to be strong, and you just want to people feel protected.
Right.
But we have options. You don't have to sit there. But this isn't as busy as it could be.
No. I think that, I think for the most part, a lot of the side streets are not, are not a problem. Now, if you would have set up out on Highland Boulevard, that would be like.
I would not sit out.
That would be like a video game.
Oh yeah,
like whack-a-mole or something.
Frogger. Yeah. No, we don't want that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So Pam, 2 weeks, your staycation. You look like you were busy with the boys.
Yes.
Between baseball, cooking, planting.
A lot going on.
It's been a busy week, a couple weeks, but what's kind of interesting too is like watching everybody rebuild again. I think that is, people like yourself, and I just want to ask you too. You guys are Gennaro's?
Yes.
Okay, so when Gennaro's went away, the recipe stayed. That's amazing. I have to say that I've been eating Gennaro's since I was a kid and grew up in Dungan Hills. And I think it's one of the best pizzas on the island. I have now.
One bite, everybody knows the rule. Pam just said one of the best pizzas. So if it's not one bite, what is it, Pam? But it's never one bite.
I couldn't stop it too long.
Please, there's more pizza. Help yourself. And there's also these delicious Zeppelis.
Yes.
We also grew up on Gennaro. So Jerry being a good friend of my dad's, we always used to visit and just run and stop in there, whether we were having pizza or not. And because when we were bowling on the green, you just stop in there, just walk across the street.
Neighborhood place.
Jerry was a bowler, and he bowled with my dad. He actually not a bad. He used to say he was a terrible bowler, but he really wasn't a bad bowler. Over the years, he sponsored many leagues and teams, and just loved the sport. And so it was a natural fit when we were looking for someone to operate the pizzas concession here. And he was so excited. And you started work. When did you start working with Gennaro? Because it was before here, right?
No, I came aboard with here. I didn't work with Jerry on
okay, but then you were doing some work there, and
Yeah, he was there.
I was doing training over there, so I was doing some training over there, and the recipes over there, and then I would come back over here and finish up over here.
How is Jerry doing?
Jerry's doing very well. He's doing very well. He's getting his exercise in. I speak to him occasionally. I mean, he says he's doing his walking. He's doing well. We're gonna meet up one day for coffee. Worried at the time right now, but he's doing well. He's doing very well.
When Jerry first came here, it wasn't pizzeria. It was just a snack bar.
Right, and then right before, Gracie and Lucille had put a pizzeria. Their son Jason had helped. So we had just started a pizza business within the business, and then had made that change. But they were. I don't believe that was really operating for very long.
No, it wasn't really. It wasn't really what I would call close to what it is now.
Oh no, not even close.
When did you guys come here? What was the first year?
Well, he was here before me.
Okay.
I'm here 20 years now. September would be 20 years.
Oh, get out. Oh, neat.
That's another story.
Yeah, I come here.
Tita and Marco met here.
Really? Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
You know.
Making his cupcakes for the counter.
Aw.
He needed a cupcake vendor, and you just never know what happens when somebody needs cupcakes. And she used to bring cake all the time.
All the time, even when he didn't need it.
Oh wait, so is she to blame for your help? No, I'm kidding. We did say she might have been poisoning him a little bit, not telling him. She's taking great care of him. He looks wonderful. He's feeling good, and we're excited that we're back and everybody's here. But growing up on this pizza, there was still nothing recipe at all. I think you talk about any pizzeria. ovens make the difference.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, there's still if that was still operating as Gennaro's, and if we got a pie there and got a pie here, there is a difference.
Absolutely.
Not a big difference, just a slight difference, and you could tell. But this is one of the only pizzas. There's maybe about 5 on my list on Staten Island in New York that you could eat cold. Like not all pizzas treated equal.
That's true.
So when you have it sitting on the counter, you throw it in the fridge and eat it the next day, rather than throw it in the pan and heating it up. You could eat it cold. This is one of those pizzas.
Yes.
Well, it probably has to do somewhat with the quality of the ingredients,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would think, too, because
On that note, I'm having another one.
We don't judge here.
Can I get you one?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I know. Dairy.
Get out of here.
The ones that make pizza right now, he can't even eat it, and she don't eat it anyway.
Right. No, but
But I'll take your word for it.
that's good stuff. It's very good stuff. Yes, Lee's pizza you can't eat cold. Have you ever noticed that? Like you cannot take Lee's out.
It's
I
tough.
think that
And I love Lee's pizza.
part of it is the crust, too. The
Yeah.
crust gets really, like,
It's the style pizza that you could eat cold for the most part.
Isn't he a brick oven or a wood oven?
That's no. That's a couple pizza. They're regular pizza.
Oh, they were your pizza.
Giove coal fired. They call it same thing with Campagna.
Oh.
The same thing with Campagna. I have a hard time. I can't really eat that cold. Nunzio's pizza. Love Nunzio. And since I grew up in Grant City, that was another place I love the pizza. And their slices are like this.
oh, yeah.
And that's another. But it's this style. What is this style? Neapolitan. That you could traditionally L&B pizza. Now I can eat that square cold. And it's even sometimes better cold because you're not burning the roof of your mouth, which is part of the experience.
I just remember when I was a kid growing up, there was a pizzeria. It was several different owners. It was in South Beach. I went to St. Joseph Hill, and I, stop. I get a slice, and it was a tiny little thing. It was like a very
shopping center.
No, it was like on McLean Avenue. Very, very. That place was great. You know who used to own the one in the shopping center was Joe Bowlacastri. Steve Castry, that was one of his first pizzerias. It was so cool.
On McLean?
It was that one. One of the first pizzerias was where what's it called? Fortune Garden or not Fortune Garden?
Hawaii.
Oh,
Fortune Hawaii.
Yeah. And
What was it called?
it was like a Chicago style pizza. It was the first time I'd ever had that kind of pizza. It was
Right.
so unbelievable. Anyway, but the McLean Avenue was the place I was talking about. I used to get a slice, and it's very similar to this. This is better, of course. And but I always got it with a great soda.
Great
That's my
soda.
South Beach pizza story.
It's funny because when you have things like that, like tastes that kind of just go together, like whenever you have it, your memory goes back to that taste.
Mine was Sunkist.
Orange.
Grape soda or orange. I would always
Yes.
it would be orange
Definitely
soda.
the orange soda.
And most of those old school pizzerias had the fruit punch, the juice.
Oh,
soda.
yeah.
And that was, and I think Backroom still has them. He's another one that's equally creative.
Who's
That you could eat. Larry on Nuda Plaza.
Okay, sorry.
Macaroons, what's it, Macaron?
Yeah.
His
One on the
pizza,
railroad.
Pizza on the Plaza.
Yeah.
But he might even still have those.
No, I don't doubt that.
And when you walk into those places, the smell is so different. It's just that you smell, and it's not. It smell. I think you smell the dough more than you smell anything else. And I love when they're mixing dough in the back or just frying dough. That smell is
Priceless. Priceless. Well, did you ever work a fair, like at Richmond County Fair? I know the fair is canceled, but county fair is canceled. Greek festival is canceled. A lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah, the North Shore Rotary, they canceled
the 5 Club Rotary. Yeah.
So, sorry to hear that. Oh,
But
sorry.
yes.
Sorry.
You heard it here first.
Breaking news.
So, yeah, but I find it incredible that there's still restaurants that aren't open. Like Adobe Blues is still not open. He's trying to negotiate what the dining is going to look like in the parking lot. He's very cautious, so he's thinking everything through. And then Applebee's just opened.
I saw that article.
Expressway Plaza.
Yes.
I can't even imagine it. They have 40 Applebee's in the metro area, and they're opening them like a little
at a time.
So, and then they have a landlord-tenant dispute going on at the New York Applebee's. So the landlord stole all of their furniture, and not stole, but took it and put it away. And so they weren't operational for a day. And it turns out they called the police. It turns out they're the landlord.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine thinking your place got robbed and then you find out?
The landlord.
That's crazy. I did notice that they were doing They had a nice little setup for takeout and delivery that you could take out, and that's delivered via Grubhub or whatever they were using. But there were people outside that New York Applebee's every day, little tent, table and chairs, and seeing that, it looked like that was happening slowly. So they did the takeout, delivery, and then now they're rolling out. And they could easily do outdoor dining in New York on the side,
on that side,
side on New York Lane versus the rest, because that's a busy block. But on the side, you can, to go whether to go doors,
They employ like 3,500 people or something like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I would think in a place like that is part of their reticence on reopening, because it's not like a place like this. We kind of have a set staff of people who've worked here for a long time. I think a place like Applebee's, they have like a lot of turnover of people. So now they have to train all those people and get everybody just on their regular procedures, and now there's extra. So
if you've watched this before, you know. Look at this.
Oh, you know what? They lightened up on the sugar this time, which is good.
Just smell them. You got smell-o-vision today. Ooh. Look how beautiful these are.
Those are delicious.
The last time Tina made for them, they were the size of my fist.
She loves them.
Really?
I can't get the size down. Mine come out like donuts.
They're delicious.
Yeah,
they're perfect. Oh, they are.
Oh,
beautiful.
Marco made them.
Oh, that's why.
They're the perfect size. Mine.
I've had yours. They're great.
All right. So what's the trick with the Zeppelin dough? And what, is it Zeppeli or Zeppela? What do you call it?
Zeppeli.
Zeppeli.
Some people call them Zeppels.
Zeppels. Zeppela.
On the bowling, what is it?
All right. What's the trick? What's the key?
On forming it?
The perfect dough for a Zeppeli.
Perfect dough.
You can't tell.
No, we can't tell. A lot of people want our recipe, we can't reveal that.
Because they're all not created equally.
Right.
These are very light and airy.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're very dense, so
Yeah.
I almost feel like they use the pizza dough and just throw it in the fryer.
A lot of pizzerias do that.
And it's not supposed to be.
No, that is not real Zeppelin.
That's not Zeppeli. That's a fried pizza dough.
Yeah.
But
So what do you put in there? Sugar?
It's sugar. I'll give you the ingredients. It's sugar, salt,
Don't tell me how much.
water.
Right. That's the chemical.
and this is Gennaro's recipe.
That's your narrow recipe.
Is it a wet dough?
The wet dough. Very wet dough. Very yes.
When you're forming that,
And that's the
you
challenge.
To get the whole, like almost like it looks like an onion ring.
Yeah.
Like a raw onion ring going in, and that's when you get the holes. I never get the hole. I get it in. Get it fully baked dough.
Well, see, these are going to be very much in demand on the munch now because you can't get them at any festival. So
That's what that's where you're going before. Yeah.
that's where. So,
Back to the festival. Yeah. So that is interesting because people are so used to being able to get fried Oreos, funnel cakes,
Right.
Zeppelis.
Sausage and pepper heroes.
Well, they call them.
Yeah.
A lot of them call them fried dough, and not necessarily Zeppelis. So you said salt, sugar,
Water,
flour,
and yeast.
So would
Yeast
you?
has got to make it right, make it fluffy.
but it's a sticky dough, and that's
very
the
sticky.
largest challenge.
Yes.
And I've watched it, and I'm doing it myself. I struggle too, like getting in there, and because it's sticky, and you don't want them. It's easy to make them so big because then you don't
Well, you're
want to.
supposed to use a little bit of water to try and make the hole and then have it slide off. I think he showed you the last time that he was making them. You put some water on your fingers this way, it kind of slides off.
Right.
In
So
a
it
ring.
doesn't stick.
Yeah.
oh, interesting.
So if you go back to a previous show, Marco, when Marco was open,
That was the one with the really big camera work. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, sadly, that camera work by Nazareth, but we made it work. With Arturo, we were making pizza and Zeppelis, but you get a little bit more information today. But that's about it. We're cutting it off there. We're not giving away the rest.
I just have one question. So now, if you were going to make like deep fried Oreos or something, would you use the same dough?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But try to freeze your Oreos first.
Oh, then I'll blow
Freeze
up.
them. Same thing
So
with
that
like
you don't melt all.
Snickers or
Michael
anything.
likes it when it's melted in the middle.
Yeah, we
If
kind
you
of do.
freeze the Oreo first, or even like a Twinkie or chocolate bar, whatever you want to coat in that, you'll have the same consistency
It'll
on
stick.
the inside. It won't melt. Because if you just put an Oreo in there and then you fry it, the entire middle just seeps out.
Right, because it's getting soggy. Once you're wetting it, it's getting soggy to begin with. So the freezing helps that. Like even with the Milky Ways and the Snickers, by putting a stick in it and throwing it in the freezer certainly helps that process.
Love it. I find it. The other one, what's the other like festival food? Last year they did bananas, I think, at the Richmond County Fair. Anyway, they had some kind of
they freeze the fruit also.
Yeah, they freeze the fruit. Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like
even when you go to like a Japanese restaurant and they have like fried banana, that banana is definitely.
Or the ice cream.
Like fried ice cream is not this type of dough. It's more of a cake dough. Where they?
No, it's not like it's definitely a lot
sweeter.
Yeah. And not as thick.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because they actually have to coat it with something else. Either they coat it with panko or something. When they do it, they dip it in there and then they coat it and then they refreeze it again. And then
so that whole frozen thing
it takes a while to make. You have to. It's like a couple of days.
Yeah, because you want to think about the ice cream. You don't want to.
Right.
And in some cases, I've seen where they actually it's deconstructed. They just cut the shell open and then drop the ice cream in it.
You know, the other thing, the pandemic, I'm curious, is business owners, the unemployment, you know, insurance, like that. Won't you get an experience rating? Like, won't the percentage go up to owners eventually? Like, you're paying out $600 and.
Oh, so the money's got to come from somewhere.
I know, but I just remember when I owned a business, and we had a seasonal business, so we'd lay everybody off in the summer, but we had a very high experience rating. Like, it went from 6%, eventually to like 21%. So it was so high, you know. I'm curious, do you have that problem, or do you think that's going to be one of the...
That's probably going to be a problem in the future, I would say, with the unemployment. How unemployment insurance will probably go up. How much, we don't know. But we did have a few people on our staff, so that's going to reflect on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the difference though in the pandemic, they've made there are exceptions. So we're still in the exception of the pandemic rules. So even if my understanding today is if we bring somebody back to work for a day, they can still collect unemployment, and it's not necessarily reflective on us, because we're still constrained at what we can operate.
Right.
So even all the collection of the additional funds, we won't. It's not. While we got unemployment notices, we're not on the hook for any. At least at this point.
Oh, wow.
I believe there's going to be a date. We don't have that date. The executive order in New York is September 7th or 8th, which we believe will get extended because we're still in restrictions.
Right.
But you can't tell us our business is subject to 50% capacity. We can only do so much. So you can't tell me that I'm going to have to, and I can't hire everybody back that was working before.
Right.
You know.
So how can I be responsible? How can you're telling me I can't open?
And I believe that is also part of the push of the payroll tax cuts. If you really look at the whole picture, which sadly not everybody's looking at, you're looking at just this one thing that people talk about. Oh, we want to cut payroll tax. Yes, understanding. Many don't understand what that means. At the same time, that's going to help make it easier for us on the unemployment side, because like Marco said, we believe our unemployment insurance will go up. It has to. Money has to come from somewhere. So it's going to be something that we have to take it. Yeah.
Money has to come from somewhere.
No matter what, we could keep printing money, but it's only as good as what's coming in.
Right.
So no different than, and Obamacare is a great example. I don't want to argue the semantics of what it is, but in order to fund it, other things happen. Credit card. One of the examples that affects us directly, the fact of the credit card fees went up. Credit card fees went up, and a portion of credit card fees is for government spending, specifically for healthcare.
When we were in New Jersey, I was buying masks. You know, the ones that have like the little logos. My son wanted one of those with T-shirts, and then one of those shops where they put it a steam press, like what you guys did.
Yeah.
So I went to pay with my card because I don't really carry a lot of cash on me right now, and they said there's a 4% charge, credit card fee, and I've never been told that anywhere. So I said, fine. That's what we're doing now.
What store was this?
It was one of the stores on the boardwalk that was just, doing like the steam press logos on T-shirts. But I said, it's not going to be a thing now.
Well, the restaurants on Staten Island
had started doing it.
It's called here. It's a cash. They have to call it a cash discount, or a cash incentive. They can't say
charge you for using a charge card.
Right.
They can give you a discount.
They can incentivize you for using cash. So that's what they're doing.
Tesco's does it on Forest Avenue. Yeah, they don't really quite tell you. Not just like.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's happened to me, but I just didn't know. Where this man was just very vocal about it. He's like, "No, I got to charge you 4%. Wow, if you're going to use your card."
At the same time, I struggle with that because there are a couple of companies that are out there that sell this service to add this 3%, 4.5% to your credit card, and to me, I just want to get paid. If you're going to tell me you're going to be able to pay with a credit card, then hey, I should be thankful that you're using something to pay, and I'm allowing that service. I have to take in consideration in what we charge that you're going to use a credit card. And I know that sounds very easy, but at the same time, you adjust your price accordingly. However, the credit card fees are extremely high. In bowling, we're very fortunate that our trade association has a great contract deal with First Data where we pay a little bit less. But to keep everywhere you go, it's mostly restaurants and food service, I've noticed. They've all embraced it, but it has to be on the menu. They cannot call it a fee.
Right.
They have to call it the cash discount.
Right.
But they are supposed to tell you up front. And I will tell you, I've been in places where I've seen both. Some have said, by the way, if you use your Visa card today, there's an additional 3% added to the check. Or I've gotten the check and go, and not even looked at the check, gave them the card, and then got back and go, whoa, why is it costing me another $100 or whatever it is?
Right.
Even if it's $10, it's $10. Every time I go out, it's another $10. So it's concerning, but we haven't done it. I don't believe in it.
I guess maybe it's a way for them to not raise the price on everybody,
right?
And to not make everybody pay for the people who are paying by credit card.
Right.
So in a way, I kind of understand that, but listen, I honestly believe that places like delis and restaurants, their margins are so close,
and that's why
that it's really
and I get it.
difficult to. And when you sit down and you look at your books at the end of the whatever week, month, day, and you look at what you're actually paying out in charges, it's got to be like, I'm not even. I can't even break even. So the money's got to come from somewhere. But
back to that, money's got to come from somewhere. So with 100%,
it's difficult. It's difficult.
What is the restaurant? So Pam, quick, because I know you have to zip out.
Yeah, I have
the restaurant scene, although you've been away.
Yes.
Changes in the restaurant scene in the last couple of weeks? Did you notice there's different trends or something crazy happening?
Well, talk about smoke meat shortage, like pepperoni. This is news, but I think more of a settling in with the dining out. Getting used to having to follow the rules. More of the providers are enforcing the social distancing because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble. It's the customers that get the owners in trouble ultimately. And so that's I noticed up on Forest Avenue, I live right near Cobra and Shell Flash, and they've been pretty vigilant about the social distancing and Jody's Club Forest. They're just embracing it. They've expanded into the street in the last few weeks and have a beautiful setup. Mar, which is next to them.
Yeah, they too. They did it really nice.
But I think now that
the inevitable.
Yeah.
Right, because the indoor dining, it's more real now than it was before, maybe.
Right.
Because we always think, we'll get there, and here we are, we're still not there.
Yeah. Right. Because everybody thought, this is kind of going to be a short-term thing until we can open inside, and now people are going, I think we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, that's what Terrence said from Jody's. But also, I ate at Irby last night. I ate at Costa Vino.
Oh,
I didn't know they opened.
It was beautiful.
They reopened maybe a week or two ago?
Yeah, 2 Thursdays ago.
Oh, okay.
And what a wonderful experience. It was like the Four Seasons came to Staten Island.
Yeah.
Now, where have they moved their outdoor dining? Are they on the side or out in the patio?
Got to be
in the street there?
They moved onto the patio.
Forward.
Yeah, they've gone
out towards the water.
And then their sister restaurant, the tap room at Navy Pier, which is across the way, it's the former surf. They have like an overhang.
Yes.
And it was so pleasant. Yeah. And it was actually kind of nippy last night. So it was just wonderful. And they made this one dish that I swear I think it was the best eggplant I've ever had. It was he took eggplant and he basically marinated it in olive oil, and then he quick fried it the next day, and they put fried chickpeas on top of it and the hummus. I mean, it was just the most incredible thing. I can't even explain it. It was so good.
Is it appetizing or dinner?
It's an appetizer.
That's up to you, Miss Allie.
Holy cow! Really, like knock your socks off.
Yeah. We ate there. I ate there the Saturday before we closed, and I'll tell you, the service was great. The food was great. It's a beautiful restaurant.
Oh, the wine and the wine list.
And the wine list was amazing.
They took all the wines. They had to fold all the wines from the former restaurant Barca,
Right.
and their other restaurant.
Barca and Surfing?
No,
But now they rebranded them.
They rebranded them.
And so it's Pasta Vino now and the Navy Pier.
Same owners?
But they basically took they basically rebranded to take the average check from $80 to $40 to $50.
Right.
They basically just wanted to, because the fine dining, so to speak, was one of their larger problems.
Although,
but I will tell you, I ate at Barca. We did the wine tasting event at Barca right before the shutdown, and then right after they opened, before the shutdown, we went to check out Pasta Vino, and I will say, it was awesome before.
Yeah.
It's very different, but it's still, the quality is great.
Oh.
But the wine list, finish what you're saying with the wine list.
No, the wine list. They folded all of the restaurant's wine list. I guess they had so much inventory.
Right.
I mean, they had like hundreds of bottles of wine, and they were all reasonably priced. One thing I thought was interesting, they have everything in tiers, so you can order. Any first course is like $16. Any of the pastas are $19, I believe.
Oh.
And any of the entrees, no matter if you order beef or chicken or whatever, it's all $29. And then
That's interesting.
three sides, phenomenal. It was just
That's really interesting.
anyway.
That's cool. So that's Pam's experience at Pasta Vino. I'm looking forward to going back and checking out the tap room.
It was very good.
So they only opened up the tap room part of this.
Yes.
They didn't open up the
No,
steakhouse
because that's
upstairs.
enclosed
It was
upstairs.
right, exactly. So eventually they'll open up the steakhouse, but again, that wine list that they ordered was all over at Pasta Vino.
Right.
So they'll blow out the wine.
And they had some different wines, some small vineyard stuff. They had some really nice stuff, and he takes pride in it. Somebody,
John Gordo's the manager.
John, he was telling us that between him and one of the others, they've got kind of extensive knowledge on the wine. So.
And I have a question. I know you speak to a lot of restaurant owners, and during this pandemic, now they're doing the outdoor dining. Do any of them talk to you or have mentioned what's going to happen when it gets cold out? We're still not in the what are their feelings about that? Do they think they're not going to be able to survive? What are their plans?
Like now you're going from
Outside, and it's
outside
nice
cold.
At some capacity to nothing.
Yeah.
There's been, I think people are going day by day. I did last night, John Gorga at Pasta Vino was actually very clear on what they were going to do, which is that they were going to get heaters, but they were going to do it in such a way that it heats from underneath, or the air goes underneath. But I don't know how that's going to work, like with the health department and like with ventilating. I think that dining is going to return. I think it's going to return in the next 3 weeks.
You heard it here, folks.
That's my guess. That's my guess.
You heard it here, folks.
But
Prediction by Pam.
I'll make a bet on it. I'll tell you what.
Oh, all right.
I'm not a betting person.
Ooh.
She's not.
If dining does not return by October 1st, I'm sure it will. They have to do it. I will clean the Zeppeli fryer later. I will clean it.
I have that in writing.
But I have to say, Arturo does enjoy that job.
Does it so well.
It is. Cleaning the fryer is actually one of my favorite things to do. It's like distracting and deveining shrimp.
She volunteered to do something she enjoys doing anyway.
Clean it up for you.
All right. Well, there it is.
You heard it here. So Pam's prediction, and we've been saying that internally. We've kind of talked about that too, because that October 31 date does scare me a little bit, that they extended outdoor dining, but then there's no plan after that.
Yeah.
But the only plan is that it may not return until there's a vaccine. But how does that work?
That was him verbatim the other day. He said that.
And then we said earlier that the governor kind of backed him up on it. At the same time, I have had many good meals in Manhattan at some great restaurants outdoors with heaters.
Yeah.
But they have the space for it.
Right.
A lot of these places don't.
Now you're asking. Now you're
could we do that here? We probably could. I mean, we could make that where it's open, but if it's another expense, what does that look like? Now you put a propane tank out here.
Exactly.
You have more liability
and it
concerns.
doesn't last.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what does it get when you get a couple hours out of it?
Yeah. It's
a good question.
And you heard the prediction here, folks.
And if it doesn't happen, Pam,
we're
going to go live.
Live stream.
We're live stream. Pam cleaning out a fryer. But this is the second or third time that we've had this conversation about cleaning her favorite things to do in a kitchen, and she said that she's been very consistent.
Not a grease trap.
No, that's a little different.
Well, you never know what you're pulling out of there.
That's terrible.
Oh, hey.
I knew somebody who fell into a grease trap.
Oh.
Yeah. Horrible.
All right, so we have a prediction. We have a bet. So, Pam, the next few weeks are going to be very challenging as we get into the colder months for restaurants. And so hopefully we're still seeing some openings.
Yes.
Hopefully no closures.
No closures.
Yeah, not good for everybody.
Any other, I know Bocce had finally opened. They were one of the new restaurants. Any other openings recently that we saw?
Well, I think the most significant one over the pandemic, aside from Bocce, was, I know this sounds crazy, but King's Pizzeria on Victor Boulevard.
Oh, yes.
It had not, it was there for like
Across
39
from,
years. You know, Alba House.
Alba House, thank you.
That was like significant because it was the first restaurant to open in the pandemic.
About redemption and how after he came out, he found jobs for so many other people. And I just thought it was a great story. And you hear things like that, it makes you want to encourage that. And he opened like right in the pandemic, like maybe a month in. So good luck.
Probably the best way to open because nobody else is opening, so you get all the attention.
Correct. And if you can get through that, it's like a piece of cake when you're open.
So you lost us there for a moment because I did not plug in today, and I thought we would have enough time to actually catch it. So we were just talking about the quick restaurants that were opening and closing. Quick, you were talking about King's Pizza.
King's Pizza, I think, is a significant opening. We talked about Twisted Tavern.
It's still on.
Right? Twisted Vineyard. Got that.
Oh, that was it, right? Twisted Vineyard. So
and that's that was on Bay Street. Is on Bay Street. And the Soul Food
And
restaurant.
the Soul Food restaurant on Bay Street also.
Name escapes me, but
Yeah.
Tracy Purpora, my colleague, wrote about that one. So.
Cool.
But anyway, well, thank you for having me.
No,
It's very
thank
nice.
you.
Lovely.
Little glitch here. Thank you all. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Marco.
Hi, everybody. We're back.
Well, Naz and I will be doing this. We'll continue coming to you live.
Every day?
No. Pam, we're still we've got a lot. We're still working through a lot of things here. So we're open. We've got open bowling every day from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. We are working diligently on the league schedule to get us up and running. We don't have enough lanes.
Oh, wow.
What it really comes down to. So we're working on a new schedule. It's going to look very different for a short period of time. Without indoor dining certainly helps a little bit with our getting people to bowl a little bit faster. So if it gets turned on, people will be excited about that because that's part of the experience. But we just don't know. So we're trying to work out all the kinks and then come back to you with hopefully by the time the second half of the bowling season, we're a little bit less capacity constraints. We can have more people in the building. So we'll see. But we're trying to do... No, there's no timelines. The only timeline we got was 72 hours you could open. No, there's been phases. They've been opening up in some states. They went from 25, 33, 50%, 75%. Our guesstimation is that there's going to be a 75% capacity constraint. Lift that a little bit, but we don't know. So until then, one day at a time, everybody. Please be patient with us. We're rolling this out very slowly as well. We're just trying to get our feet wet. Our staff has, a lot of new things to take care of in this time. So. We're just trying to get our feet wet and get everybody settled. It's been busy the last couple of days, and
which is great.
Great. We just got to inch into it. Well, we would have loved to have another week planning. It's been great, and thanks to you guys for being supportive as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and just Frank and Nazareth, you did a beautiful job in the whole pandemic. And if anybody's going to get an award for great service to Staten Island, I think it was you guys for doing your
be monetized for our show.
Yeah, we just want to be monetized. I know you heard that. We want to be monetized for the show.
One day it will come.
Yeah, but the wonderful thing about awards, they cost money. You don't just get an award without buying a table. So please, please. We haven't got money to spend.
Well,
so
no,
thank
now
you.
they maybe do it virtually.
Yeah, we'll do it in a park.
They'll do it
There you
virtually.
go. Well, thanks for tuning in. Pam, thanks for coming back with us. Marco, Tina, we had pizza, Zeppelis, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Nazareth?
Bye. That was awesome.
We will see you at some point. Bye, everybody.